Ronda Rousey, this is an interesting story. She has been posting all of these training videos of late, hinting at a potential return to MMA. And I'm going to just play this short clip. This is Ariel Helwani, who has been talking about this on his show and kind of what he has understood about what these videos mean and Ronda Rousey's interest in fighting again.
Here's PZ. Hi, Helwani. Is there really any chance that Ronda fights in the UFC again? Well, I have said it's a thing, meaning she's not just working out for the sake of working out. Now, is she tied to the UFC? No. I mean, conceivably, PFL could go and offer her $100 million. I don't think she's necessarily tied to them. Now, she does seemingly have a lot of history with them and a great relationship with them, so you would think, but I've never said like her coming back to the UFC is a done deal. I'm just saying this is a thing.
It's a thing. So I will just say, if Ariel is at least like indicating that, I mean, he's pretty much like it's coming from like things that he has heard about this. I don't think anything is signed or sealed, but the prospect of Ronda Rousey fighting again, first of all, I couldn't fathom she fighting anywhere but the UFC, but reading her second book and the amount of concussions that this woman sustained, and this goes back before fighting, before she was in judo, like when she was a child suffering concussions, and when Stephanie McMahon slapped her, like the problem she was having in MMA, in pro wrestling, like it to me would be, it's like actually stunning that she would consider going back to fighting, say nothing of the fact that she has not competed in, it will be 10 years next month since the Holly Holm fight and 9 years since she lost to Amanda Nunes. You could certainly have a favorable fight for her. I don't think this is a good idea for Ronda Rousey at all to be entertaining a return to MMA. What the motivation is, I mean, I don't know. She's got children now. Maybe there's some desire to try and do this when she has kids, but I don't know. It's MMA is not the feel good return that you can have 10 years after your last competition.
Sure. Although a lifetime athlete, an athlete of the highest caliber like she is, to just completely be out of it is a massive change to your lifestyle, is a massive change to your mentality. It's a massive change just all around. And I can completely understand just, a former fighter wanting to get back into the routine and to maybe feel a bit of competition just to kind of feel alive again, Unfortunately, like when you're dealing with somebody who's like as big of a name as she is, you can't just like enter a local, like jiu-jitsu competition to kind of get your kicks, right? Like anything you do is going to receive a lot of attention and publicity and most likely a big paycheck attached to it as well. So let's see what happens here. Can you see any level of fight, like even a low level of fight, that would be suitable for her?
Listen, you can certainly, the problem is that if you're coming back to do this, it's going to be like, let's be honest, I don't think she's fighting anywhere but the UFC, unless it were some kind of like, think you're like Jake Paul type of event where they would stage some like MMA fight involving her. Like you could certainly find an opponent for her, but if UFC is going to be using her and paying her at that level, like let's just say they opt to go with like a Misha Tate, for instance. I mean, those are not the type of fights that UFC tends to promote, like these blast from the past type of like fights. It's typically you take a big name and you face against like the upcoming monster that's going to take her head off. And I just think the game has evolved significantly in 10 years, and I don't know. I don't think she'll have trouble getting licensed, but it's one that, this is someone that made a ton of money. I would not think she's doing this for financial reasons, but it is, it's very hard for a lot of these fighters to walk away. Did you hear Big John McCarthy is returning to officiating? He's leaving his podcast and he's going back to refereeing. And he basically said, like, I can't get this out of my system. I love doing this. And
sure.
It's just it's very tough for these athletes to walk away from this, whatever it is, like the competition, the spot. I don't think it's the spotlight that Ronda really craves. She seemed to be just completely turned off by the public. But
so are we? She has not had nice words to say about, her time in the WWE, right?
No, she wasn't too high on like MMA fans either. I mean, she's always been on good terms with like UFC and Dana White, but yeah, was very outspoken specifically about Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard.
Okay. So, I don't think there's a clamoring from the wrestling audience to want to see her, but I mean, are we completely shutting the door on that?
I don't completely shut the door. I mean, she did that one-off with AEW when they were in LA. But for what I would think a Ronda Rousey would command, I don't know if that would be worth it for an AEW. Like I don't think Ronda Rousey coming in even for one big match with like Mercedes Moné, I don't see that being the juice being worth the squeeze at this point on the wrestling side of things.
All right.
This month on the Post Wrestling Cafe, John and Wei go to the movies with a review of The Smashing Machine starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson based on the documentary around Mark Kerr. Plus, it's Rewind Away covering the 2017 documentary Nobody Speak, Trials of the Free Press. Also coming your way is reviews of Bound for Glory, King of Pro Wrestling, weekly editions of Collision Course, Post Pro Res with Karen Peterson and WH Park, and the XL editions of Rewind to Raw, Dynamite, and SmackDown, ad-free here at postwrestlingcafe.com.